left open the door to the bedroom. Anyways, good morning. Welcome to Ag Talk and Raw, where I talk raw about agriculture and other things that are on my mind, like sleeping babies. Teresa is off to church, and I have Suki boy here. He's funny. So anyway, I figured it is Sunday, and I think it's the 28th. Obviously, it is. I'm looking at it right now, October 28th, 2018, and it's raining again. Back to bad weather. We did have a pretty good run. Last week, we had about 7 days that we could actually mow, bake, and bale some hay. It's a little damper than I'd like it to be, but not the worst. We did get some in. Now we've had over an inch of rain from this nor'easter storm. We're getting no wind, nothing at all, which I would like to have some wind. That'll dry it out again. But, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. Now we're into, obviously, late October, heading into November. I have monumental amounts of hay to make, like thousands of acres. I don't know how this is going to go down. I don't know if I'm going to get it done before the snow blows. I really just don't know. I do know that if worse comes to worse, I'm going to be dueling up the baler. Dueling up the baler. Probably both balers, the Heston and the Krone, to try and get it to float. The 8530 will float along just fine as long as the baler's floating. What is happening, I can go through wet spots and have no problems with the tractor, but when it comes to the baler sinks. Now, I could lock up the rear wheels and dual all four of them, or I can just dual the fronts and let the rears drag. Probably would be okay to do that, or I could even chain the rear and put the majority of the weight on, as the rear starts to sink, have a chain that just kind of goes dunk and puts the weight onto the front. Not sure how this is going to work. These are just thoughts that are going through my mind to try and get these balers across the field. If I have to dual up the tractor, then I dual up the tractor. I've purchased tires for the rear of that 8530, and they're expensive though. I mean, they're $3,400 plus each. I purchased them, waiting for them to come in. They were not sure. They said sometime in November, so they'll give me a call when those come in, and I'll be able to get those tires on that tractor. But I'm going to keep my good for 1 year and probably purchase rims, clamp on dual rims to put on the back of that, just to keep it floating. If I can do that and get the baler to float a little bit, then I'll be able to go a little bit easier. Just really getting down to the wire here as to what I'm going to be able to do. I got $200,000 worth of fertilizer purchased. Yeah, $200,000. And in order to get that fertilizer paid for and pay all my other bills, I really need to get this hay made. I'll get it made. You don't have to worry about it, even if I have to wait for winter time. At this point, I can go out and mow and kind of like suck the windrows in so that they're windrows, put them into a tight windrows so that the ground is exposed to the elements, and that will allow it to dry out faster than by just leaving that mat of hay on top. So I've got those issues to deal with, and I got to work that out. So I'm hoping within the next week it starts to clear up again. I mean, I looked at the weather, and it's pretty dismal. It's looking like this week is shot to hell. We got 40 to 70% chance of rain throughout the next 10 days on 6 of the next 10 days on the application that I'm looking at right now. So yes, I have that to deal with. Well, here I'm going to read some comments here, and I'm going to answer some too. This JB Caldwell: since the Heston weighs a few tons less than the Krone, why not use it on the steeper hills? Because the Krone has brakes on all four wheels, and the Heston has no brakes. So if going down a hill, and as wet as it is, if the 4960 starts to jackknife, you're gonna jackknife it because there's no way to brake the baler. So that's why I don't. I could put duals on the 4960, but would be incredibly wide going down the road. Hi Wes, do you do much custom work throughout the year? And is the new baling job all custom work? It is all custom work. And no, I don't generally do custom work. From time to time, I'll get somebody that wants me to do some stuff, but for the most part, yeah. Yeah. So, farming, fixing, and fabricating. I did watch the video to the end, Wes. Thank you. Well, you're welcome. You know, I still haven't had time to come check out your stuff, but I mean, I've seen a couple of your videos, but I'd like to get a little more in depth and look at them a little more, because honestly I don't have time. When I'm tending William here, and yes, that is a Shark vacuum cleaner. Teresa managed to break it. It's going to the dumpster. I'm going to cut the wire off because they make great extension cords. But for that, I'm just going to heave the thing into the dumpster. It's junk. She broke it off at the bottom. Okay. You're the number one asshole because you're right with what you say. If they don't like it, they can kiss the spot. Yes, you are the granddaddy of farm channels, but you're right with what you say. Now, I'm not always right. I mean, I can take some criticism, and I have no problems being criticized as long as it's constructive criticism. And if I was always right, I would be some kind of a psychic or something. But I don't know that I am. Wes, have you watched any South Saskatchewan farmers? There's a cursing farm channel. Gobble my balls, too funny. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched them. Holy crap, did Google have to clean house of scumbags? Righteous idiots. I don't even know what that means. But yeah. Wes, I know what you're talking about with the three-phase unplugged a plug on a three-phase welder that had some water condensation. Nice bright blue light. Oh yeah. Three-phase is nothing to fuck around with. Screw around with. Let me close his ears up. Three-phase is nothing to screw around with. You really have to. You got to know what you're doing or you're going to get yourself killed. And three-phase would be awesome at the top of a 12-foot wall. Is these idiots? No, they don't even have to be very big wires. I mean, regular, I don't know, electric fence wires. All you do is touch one of the three. I mean, boom. I think there's 4 wires on that. But, you see, we don't have three-phase, so I don't know. I was at a grain elevator here over in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And he was having troubles with the motor. He couldn't get it to go. And I said, well, let me look at it. And I just stuck a screwdriver in there. Not good. Anyway, yeah. All of us white male Americans are considered assholes. That's true. We are deplorable. Deplorable. Yeah. Check out Gumball Theory of Immigration. I actually saw the Gumball Theory of Immigration. And if you go to other countries in the world, other countries that allow their people to come into the United States basically very easily, like England, Belgium, France, Germany, all those countries, Japan, you can go back and forth. There's a reciprocal agreement. If you got that passport, you can go in and out as you please. You can go on tourist visas, you can get work visas. It's very simple. You go to those countries and it's like, wow, there's really not that many people here. I heard that Europe was overcrowded and people were dying to get out of there because it's overcrowded. Well, when I was in England, what a very quaint, quiet country. I mean, London was hectic, but all cities are. But you get into even Oxford. Oxford was very, very quiet, very low key. Not a lot of people there. There's a square there where you can go, shopping and stuff. And I think Ben Crumb had, I believe it was Ben Crumb, and he said, "Oh, go to Oxford." I was just there, when I was there, and I went. I was like, wow, easy to get a parking spot. Go in, pay 10 times as much money for everything that's in there, and it's very nice. You come to New Jersey and Flemington. You think of a town like Oxford would be crammed with idiots, but you go into a town like Flemington, here, our county seat in Hunterdon County, there was way more people than that. Belgium. When me and Haley were in Belgium, we went to Ypres, we went to Bruges, we went to Antwerp, we went all over. What's the capital? capital of Belgium, Brussels. What? I mean, come on. There were no people there compared to what it's like in the United States. So they're leaving there, coming here, and that's... Well, what's going on there, Mr. Stinkerbean? You okay? You got a little tummy ache? So, so there's really not... It's silly, the amount of people that are here versus over there. Now, I know that the Europeans don't like to travel, like in their cars for more than a half an hour, maybe. Anything more than a half an hour is a huge drive or commute for them. So it's very close to the cities where they live. You can go, in England, when I was going to London, it was like farm, town, done. There was no in between. Very seldom did you see development on farmland. I think they value their farmland a lot more than they do here. Here, farmland is easy to build on because you don't have to clear any trees or anything. So, okay, why the hell do we have white privilege? I'm a white 48-year-old male working my ass off for most of my money goes to the assholes that don't work. Where is the privilege in that? Well, you have the privilege to actually be able to get that job, didn't you know? If you were a black man, you wouldn't dare go have that job. I think white privilege goes back centuries. It's nothing new, and it does exist, and it exists because we allow it to exist. Society, not myself, but society allows it to exist, and it is what it is. What are you going to do? When you're a minority and you feel and you project that you're a minority, like going into a job interview with a chip on your shoulder, well, the white guy's probably going to get it anyway. Well, what do you think is going to happen? I've dealt with... What is it? This kid is cute as a button, man. Ain't you? He's as cute as a button there, Mr. Boy. Mr. William. Yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to be on this today because it looks like he might be getting ready to have his diaper changed. Okay, number one issue to American voters, health care. Number one issue Trump and Republicans wish was number one for America. Anything else, like immigration. Don't be distracted. Dump Trump and Republicans. They've failed the American people on health care. Let's put it this way. I'm going to give you a solution to health care that's going to blow your freaking mind. You ready for this one? There's nothing wrong with the health care system when it comes to a person that needs health care until they go to get health care. Medicines are overpriced. Hospital stays are overpriced. Doctors are overpaid. It's on that end. Insurance companies overcharge. When you go into the doctor's office, this guy, on his first checkup, his 2-week checkup, $648 for them to take a tuning fork and go, put it on his ear, make him turn his head, put it on his ear, make him turn his head. They took his temperature. They did whatever. $648. Unbelievable for them to do that. So you tell me that healthcare professional deserved that kind of money to do what they did? I could have done that at home. So, of course, people are hypochondriacs and they feel like, oh, I've got insurance and it's costing me $10,000 a year, so I better go to the doctor as often as possible to get the most out of it. And then now with Obamacare it's a mandatory health insurance, that's not even constitutional. And I hope Brett Kavanaugh can have his say, because now he has been appointed to the Supreme Court to get that Obamacare thrown out, because the democratically controlled Supreme Court deemed it constitutional when it is unconstitutional. Is ramming something down the people's throats that don't want it. We don't want it. I don't want that. I want the right to choose what I have. And the lying scumbags that passed it are there. So dump Trump? Maybe. Who knows? This is the thing with people. You can't please all the people all the time. And like my channel, I'm probably pissing on Ron Ryle right now. I think your ideas are that the government is here to take care of us. For the people, by the people. You ever hear of that one? For the people, by the people. The government is for the people, by the people, not for the government, by the government. No. You've got it wrong. You've got it wrong. You know, we're supposed to govern ourselves. Really, honestly, the government is there. They're just there to keep us safe. Military, they're not supposed to meddle in our health care. I think there's a monopoly going on in many aspects. St. Luke's in the hospitals and other things like Exxon and Mobil. You know, Exxon Mobil is now one company. It's a monopoly on the fuel. You know, these Walmart and Sam's Club, same company. You know, same company, different rules, but they're destroying small town America. These are monopolies taking over. The government is taking over. They're taking over our lives. And until we get somebody, I don't want to say like Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is better than the Hillary Clinton. We'd be at war with North Korea if it was Hillary Clinton. Guarantee you, we would be at war. It was going there. If you don't remember, it was going there at the end of Obama's reign as president. And if you know anything about the Obama, he had a pen and a phone, and he was going to do stuff whether with or without the House of Representatives or Congress. With or without you, I'm going to do this. That is a dictator. That is a dictator. So if you voted for Obama and you enjoyed his policies, you were supporting a dictator. Donald Trump is not a dictator. Donald Trump is following the rules, just like kids in cages. You know, I love that when people come on here and say, oh, well, Donald Trump put kids in cages and separated families. These are rules and laws that were put in place by Democrats, you stupid fuck. So there you go. Okay. All right. The problem is not the wall, it's the social programs. If there's more oversight, then we wouldn't an incentive to come here illegally. Correct. Okay, so I'm going to compare this because Teresa's Filipina. Okay, Teresa's Filipina. I've been to the Philippines many times, and I know. Did I just bang his head against that thing? Teresa's been here many times. There is no illegal immigration in the Philippines for a couple of reasons. There's immigration into the Philippines. No American would do this, but in order to immigrate and become a Philippine citizen, you would have to denounce your American citizenship, which anybody that does that's absolutely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, man. They're just off their rocker. But the Philippines is a nice place to go and visit. Would I live there permanently? Hell no. I mean, it's a nice place to visit. I feel freer in the Philippines than I do here in the United States. But there's just a lot of things there that aren't here. So still the United States is a better place to live than, say, the Philippines. But there's no illegal immigration because there's no social programs. There's no social security. Well, there is a social security. Don't get me wrong there. There's no welfare. If you go into that country as an expat, you better bring money along with you. Yes, you have to have money because you're not allowed to work. You are not allowed to work. Now, if you own a piece of property, which you're not allowed to own, but if you're married to someone, i.e. a Filipina or a Filipino, and you move to the Philippines and you're living there, and the property is in their name, you are allowed to work on that property as a couple and produce a product to sell to other Filipinos. And bada bing, bada boom, you're in business. You're making money. But other than that, you can't ask for donations. You cannot have a charitable organization. You cannot do any of that stuff. So why in the world would anybody want to migrate to the Philippines? Because there's nothing for them there other than maybe a work if you marry somebody. So that's why it's not happening. I say end all social services. All of them. All of it. End social services. Put the reins put a bit in the mouth of the medical field, not the people. I mean, it's amazing to me how everybody's like, oh, this healthcare thing. People need to sign up for this healthcare, Obamacare, and sign up for this. So what? So we can all pay huge, huge health insurance bills? You know what my health insurance bill would be if I had health insurance? I don't have health insurance. I am unhealth insurance. Teresa has health insurance and William has health insurance. I do not. So if something happens to me, I'm going to pay for it out of my pocket, or I'm going to suffer with the ailment that I have. For the simple reason is, due to my tax return, my health insurance bill well, I didn't attempt to do it this year, but 2017, $18,600 for health insurance. I haven't spent $18,000 in my life on health care, let alone every year. So what am I supposed to do? Go pay $18,600 so the jackass up the road that doesn't work, that is getting it for free, gets to go to the doctor when they get the sniffles? When a hardworking guy like me has to put $18,600 a year into a pot of shit for someone else, and then what? When I need it, because it is Obamacare, because there's nothing else for us here. Obama's a lying piece of shit. He was a lying piece of shit, and the Supreme Court should have sniffed out that lying piece of shit and threw it out as unconstitutional. But hey, you know what? It was democratically controlled. More Democratic appointees to the Supreme Court. That's why it was allowed to go through. And there were people standing up screaming, do not, it's unconstitutional law. But they ignored us, and then it sets precedents for them to do other things. And thankfully we have Kavanaugh on there now, and I'm sure all the people that say that he was a rapist and all this stuff, it's bullshit. We're innocent until proven guilty. There wasn't even enough evidence to go after him. So, to you. Anyway, now I'm getting fired up with my little boy here. Oh, he's such a good little guy. He can tell that I'm getting fired up, I swear. So yeah, healthcare, it's not the people that need to be suffering over healthcare. It's the healthcare providers that are getting out of control. Not the people. You know, health insurance, give me a break. There's multi-millionaires. Who funded the Obama administration? Healthcare. What do you think he needed to do? What do you think he needed to do? God. Anyway. Keep it up, Wes. Yeah, okay. Wes, Leonard Lance is in trouble. We can't let that carpetbagger Malinowski win the 7th District. Note, Malinowski, a Washington, D.C. resident, just began renting a home in Rocky Hill so he could run against Lance and try to take Congress for the Dems. The farmers of Hunterdon County need to unite and get Lance reelected. Trust me, we don't want socialist Malinowski in charge. I agree with you 100%. So, I mean, yeah, I agree with you 100%, Patty. I mean, I don't know that I know you personally, and I just lost my thing here. I don't know that I know you personally, but it's true. We will vote to reinstate Waters of America Act so the government can regulate any piece of farmland within 300 feet of a ditch that contributes to a major waterway. Don't get me started. Just vote Lance. Yes, and I agree. Vote Lance. You are having a tummy ache, aren't you? Oh boy, where you at? Having a tummy ache? You're having a time of your life here. That's for sure. I'm trying to get it out. You got some stinkers? You got some stinkers, young boy? Just a little. Hi. There's something going on. Here, maybe we get you turned around here. You can see what the world looks like. Okay. No, he doesn't look like Tim. He does not look like Tim. I have pictures of Timothy. He doesn't look anything like him. You want something to eat? You hungry? Stuff that bottle in there. I don't know. No? Maybe? Maybe not? No? Looks like Mommy might have made it to church. Anyways, keep the idea of Border Patrol is the best and funniest I've ever heard so far. Well, I'm not trying to be funny, really. I'm trying to be... Well, I guess maybe I am a little funny, but it is what it is. I agree they should shoot and I take part. Yeah, I mean, you're really going to have to understand that shooting somebody is not fun, but the bug zapper thing would work. I mean, but put it this way. The Marines are on their way to the border now. That's what I read this morning at about 3 o'clock while William was doing his thing, choking to death on Mommy's milk. So I told her she shouldn't sleep and feed him. It's tough. So anyway, so they're going to stop this caravan, as they're calling it, and they're going to stop it. They're going to stop it, and they're not going to let these people in, which they shouldn't, because there's a right way and a wrong way to do this. And they're wrong. They are very wrong. What do you got going on there, boy? I think he's producing a stinker. There's a drug called tramadol that has very few side effects and will really help manage pain. I don't need to manage my pain. I need to manage what I do. I hurt my back, and instead of taking a numbing agent like tramadol or even Advil works very good for me. I feel nothing after that. And the problem is, then I feel nothing, and then I go out and I continue to injure my spine, which is something I don't want to do. So I'm not taking anything. I'm putting these things called Tiger Balm patches on my back, which is a holistic healing thing through mint or peppermint, spearmint, whatever it is, and that should help me get my back, take some of the inflammation away. And oh my Lord, young man, you getting it out or what? It's kind of tough for him. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing, arching your back like that? He's got such a sucker. Look at this. Oh, did we lose it? I think we're going to have to go. Man, William's got a date with the diaper patrol. Yeah, date with diaper patrol. I'm going to change his clothes and get his little carcass to the farm. So anyways, okay, those are some of the cleanest, best-dressed refugees I've ever seen. Bingo, I saw that too. When they're being funded by George Soros, which is proven, by the way, not to mention overweight, and I've seen several video clips of these impoverished refugees using cell phones. They're not all refugees either. In a video of a live feed cast as soon as I saw the camera, many were pulling hoods over their faces and some were throwing gang signs. Right. They're not coming here to be good citizens. They're not coming here because they want to contribute to our society. They're coming here to suck off the tits of our government and our people that work for a living. So, yeah. Turmeric. Yeah. Turmeric. I've used that. It's used in curry. Curry. It's that yellow stuff in curry. Turmeric. I thought it was tamaric. Analgesic aspects of your food. A spice works with 1/8 of a teaspoon as needed. Yeah. Sold as health supplement also. I missed the beard from the old vids, Wes. Well, Angus, I'm sorry. Keep being an asshole. I'll keep watching. Wow. Did I call myself an asshole last time? Musta. Wes sounds like the USA needs to send illegal Mexicans back home. Well, they're not Mexicans. Mexicans come here and go back home. They do. Most of them. But it's from Central America. Guatemalans and whatever the other one is. Not Argentina. Maybe Argentina. No. Guatemala and whatever. They're in there. They're coming up from down there. The Mexicans are allowing them to go through their country to get to us. So, and no, I don't want to be president in 2024. I'm not smart enough for that. I'm too common sense, and I would be worse than Trump by opening my mouth. I'd be like, you know what, you fucking assholes, just go shoot them. Shoot them till they're dead. See how the Dems like me. Holy cow. I probably wouldn't make it very far. Oh, you got a little butt. Gonna get them out. You gotta get them out. You're gonna get your stinkers out. Da-da-da. Battle of Columbus. All right, so Timmy Cornpicker did come through. Timmy Cornpicker came through. The Battle of Columbus, Burning of Columbus, or the Columbus Raid, March 9th, 1916, began as a raid conducted by Pancho Villa, a division of the North, in a small United States border town of Columbus, New Mexico, located 3 miles north of the border. The raid escalated into a full-scale battle between Villistas and the United States Army. Villa himself led the assault, only to be driven back into Mexico by elements of the 13th Cavalry Regiment stationed at the town. The attack angered Americans, and President Woodrow Wilson ordered the punitive expedition in which the U.S. Army invaded Mexico in an unsuccessful attempt to capture General Villa. Yep. Wow, this is actually pretty good. So if you're watching this, go back to last week's video, and you can also read on what Timmy Cornpicker posted. It is a Wikipedia article, and they burned the town, the bastards. Anyway, there's pictures too. Crazy. But anyways, thanks for watching. I got to get Mr. Stinker Bean here cleaned up, and I don't think he's stinky. Nah, I don't smell nothing. Oh, he's a tough guy. He's got some drool. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next week.